the Fajr breeze. It's the moment of learning. It's the aura of awakening. Come on in about Allah. Oh, oh, oh. Come on in about Allah. Oh, oh, come on in about Allah. Oh, oh, come on in about Allah. Oh, oh, come on in about Allah. Oh, oh.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for sparing our lives till this day and counting us among those of His servants that are enjoying and witnessing the blessed month. We ask Him in His infinite mercy to accept our ibadat. Ameen. Today, inshallah, we'll be discussing a very important topic that has to do with our identities as Muslims, and that is the Quran as a guide to guidance. As Muslims, we go through a lot of challenges trying to also for our worldly life and trying to strike a balance in achieving the tranquility of worship. We constantly strive to reach a balance in our lives. And this pursuit leaves us with a lot of questions. Some people depressed, some people wondering why are they not where they are supposed to be yet, some people questioning if truly they are servants of Allah. This question lingers in our heart, and the answer is all over around us, only if we can think. The answer lies in the Quran, because the Prophet ﷺ had said that the Quran is a guide to guidance, only for people that reflect and think about it. And it's just for us to take our Quran and read through it and see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is actually talking to us all through, from the beginning to the end. Whatever it is that is wrong with you, there's answer for you in the Quran. The Quran is not just an only book, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed it as a manual for our lives. How do we now strike a balance so that we can live a life filled with value and purpose? Today, I'll be discussing how the Quran is so important to our personal lives and how it helps us achieve balance in all of our lives. First, the Quran helps us achieve balance in our relationship with our family, with ourselves, and it also prioritizes our personal growth. Allah said in the Quran in Surah At-Tawbah to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that he should give charity from his wealth in the name of his family, as it's going to serve as security for them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encourages us to go all out for our family members, to strike a balance in our relationship with our family members. Also, he also emphasizes that we shouldn't go too far beyond our limits. That is, at some point, we shouldn't go all out to the extent that it will be affecting our personal health or will be exerting all of our energy. When it's time to say no, the Quran also encourages us to say no. It helps us strike a balance in our relationships so that we don't overdo ourselves. The Quran serves as a guide to balance even in our personal growth. It encourages us to strive for self-improvement and also prevents us from excessively criticizing ourselves. The Prophet ﷺ said that true courage is not about condemning and criticizing yourself, rather accepting your errors and letting down your ego. This shows to us that the Quran itself wants us to grow, and there are different verses in it that shows that it is very important for us to grow as Muslims, because it is our strivings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to see. It encourages us to be better individuals and better Muslims. That is why it is important for us as Muslims to create time to spend with the Quran, so that indeed we can be convinced about the Quran being a guidance in all of our life generally. Not only does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want us to grow, the Quran also has a guide for us on how we relate with ourselves, how we enjoy family ties, how we relate with the animals, even in our businesses. When we acquire wealth, how do we manage it? It shows how much the Quran is a bigger part of our lives if we let it. And there's no way we are going to be able to maximize and enjoy the balance that the Quran has been created or revealed to serve if we do not take time to go through it by ourselves so that we can be convinced. Finally, is a very beautiful example for us that models the Quran as a guide to balance. He's no other person than our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam embodied the Quran as an individual, so that when Aisha radiallahu anha was asked about the Quran and about the Prophet, she said that the Prophet is the Quran, that is a walking Quran. So for us to be able to emulate all of these values, it is important for us to go back to the bases. The first verse that was revealed is read. It shows the importance of seeking knowledge. It's important for us to go back to the bases and spend some time with the Quran so that we can see how blessed we are as Muslims, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has perfected our lives, so that we can be able to maximize the joy and the conviction that comes with being a Muslim. There's no way you will be able to confidently beat your chest to say that you are a Muslim or be able to strike a balance if you do not go through the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is the Quran. It has come as a revelation of guidance and blessing, and there's no way you'll be able to enjoy that. I leave you in the security of Allah as always. I say to you, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It's the Fajr breeze, it's the moment of learning, it's the aura of awakening. Come on in about Allah, oh oh oh, 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 come on in about Allah, oh oh oh.